I don't believe in recessions. I've never experienced a recession, and I'm a multimillionaire. And it's not as I say that not as a brag, and people are like, oh, well, he's rich. It's like you should try to think about, well, what are the people that you're wanting to copy doing? Like, who am I copying? What are they doing? If you're interested in some of the things I'm doing, you're like, oh, well, what did they do? And so I think you said it exactly well, which is like, all right, how do I become recession proof? How do I start taking responsibility where, like, no matter what, my business is going to be in need? So people right now, oh, my Airbnb, I have an Airbnb. It's completely empty for 3 months. Completely empty. And so I'm like, well, shit, I'm going to lower the price, or I'm going to try to put it on a long-term rental, or I'm going to try to rent it out as an office. I'm going to do something with it to figure out how to make it up. I think a lot of people are saying Airbnb is responsible for giving me that money. When times are good, you didn't complain to Airbnb. But now that times are bad, you're going to fucking blame Airbnb for that. And so I think one of my favorite quotes around this time period that has really, really impacted me was, don't let quarantine, you, Chris, the audience, me, everyone out there, don't let your quarantine go to waste.
I love that.
Don't let it go to waste. This is the fucking, so many big companies come out of limitations. Why is it that so many companies come out of colleges? Right? Why is it that so many companies, Uber, Airbnb, you can go on the AppSumo, blog.appsumo.com, and see all these fucking companies, Stripe, AppSumo, Zoom, the thing we're using, came out of the 2008 to 2010 recession, right? Because innovation comes through limitation. And a lot of people are, you know, and this is what Mitchell on our team, Mitchell is like my dog. I'm like,
Love Mitchell.
Love Mitchell, right? He said to me, and this changed my whole outlook about this whole thing going on with the virus stuff. How do you want to look back on this time? How do you, me, Denise, Almas, Nico, Praful, Mustafa, it's like the whole Lion King kingdom is here. How do you want to look back in 6 months or 6 years when this is over? I want to look back because Mitchell said it to me. He's like, I want to look back knowing I did everything I could to make the best use of this time. I was like, God damn, that's good advice.
Yeah.
And so I think there's something to consider there. And so some things, everyone's limited. So Jake, you're limited with time. If you have kids, man, that shit is tough. Because you have a kid, you probably have a partner, you have to make sure they're good. But someone said this to me. They're like, fear doesn't wake up at 5 a.m. Right? So the question is, it's not bad to be an employee. I don't believe in employees. I believe in teammates. And I don't believe in jobs. I believe in careers. It's not bad to have that. But if something like this happens now or happens again, you may not be as in control of the outcomes as you'd like. So it might be a time to start thinking, well, hey, I want something differently. Because honestly, if I would have stayed at Facebook, or maybe if I would have had a better mentor or found a better mentor, my whole life could have been different. And this is how the cards are dealt. And so we're all dealt different ways, right? Like I'm honestly very lucky. I was born in San Jose, California, to an engineer, and that was my stepfather. My father was a sales guy, didn't speak English. And I was born 2 miles from Apple headquarters. I got to meet Steve Jobs. I got to intern at Microsoft and like hang out at Bill Gates' house. Like I've been very I've worked hard, but I've also been lucky that I was born in those places. But it doesn't mean that's not accessible for everyone. It just means some people might have to work a little bit harder, or be on AppSumo, or be in the AppSumo group, or more of my YouTube things. But it's crazy now. The coronavirus has leveled the playing field completely because every single person's at home, worldwide. And some people are going to do something about it. And I hope it's some of the person in the audience today, and they make a company bigger than ours, and they compete with us. Maybe not compete with AppSumo directly, but they compete on like...
Find another company and compete with them.
Come up with your own thing, okay? Okay. But
don't be derivative.
Yeah. But that is the point. This is the greatest equalizer I've ever experienced in my life. And for me, if there wasn't AppSumo, I would start selling gym equipment. If there wasn't AppSumo right now, one of I think the stupidest businesses that I'm like, I could make, I don't know if I'd make millions, but I could definitely make full-time living off of it, is board games. Do I know how to make a board game? Nope. Do I know that a lot of people, do I have at least 500 friends? Do I have people I could text? Do I have people around me? Yup. Do they board at home? Yup. Guess who I just talked to? I was talking to my dad. He's like, me and your mom, we can only watch my 600-pound life so many times. And they love it. My mom is an interesting woman. She loves, yeah. So they're bored as fuck at home. I have at least five. Everyone's got at least 500 people in their lives. That's a fact. Do you think all of them would spend $1 to buy a board game? Probably, right? And you're like, well, no, I don't have a box. This is a board game. It's a piece of paper. You cut it. And you make up something with fucking your mind. And you get out there and you ask a few people and they buy it and you just do one by one.
Did you like what you just saw? Well, great, because our YouTube channel is chock full of tips on how to grow your online business and learn from the best in the industry. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss out. And if you're looking for the absolute best software for entrepreneurs at the lowest possible price, then you should absolutely head over to AppSumo.com and subscribe to our email list. Heck, we'll even throw in 10% off your first order just to make it a no-brainer. Now, you're in on one of the best kept secrets in software.